Hey, fairy family, it's time for another episode of Ask the Fairy. And this is where I read notes that people have sent me and questions and comments that they've sent that I think have a lot of applicability to many people out there. And so rather than typing in a little box on YouTube, I share my answers with all of you here. So today, okay, here's one. This is just a little short question about gifts. Do you keep gifts or mementos from past relationships? And what if your partner keeps things as well? This is from, I'll call him Tom. Thank you for that. Tom, I have a feeling you're really asking about your partner keeping gifts because it causes jealousy. And I have a kind of radical view about love relationships and jealousy. And that is that if you really want to have a happy relationship, you try not to cause jealousy. And I say that's radical because I don't know about you, but in the culture I came up in the 70s and 80s and 90s, there was this idea that if you felt jealous, there was something wrong with you, that wasn't cool, that you were just being jealous, right? And one of the most empowering ideas I was ever taught, and it was actually from my husband when I was first dating him, was that jealousy is there for a reason. And yes, I totally know it's possible for people to be crazy jealous, unreasonably jealous, sick jealous, and yes, that will destroy relationships. But before we go there and talk about like crazy jealousy, I just want to talk about realistic jealousy and the cultural idea that we were supposed to be okay with people having mementos from exes, being friends with exes, people who we're in a serious relationship with. The fact is it can cause jealousy. Now, not everybody is jealous, but what makes you jealous? It's when somebody that you're connected to in an intimate relationship and where you have an expectation of some kind of fidelity and commitment, when they're interacting with somebody else in a way, in a manner, with energy that feels like they're trying to keep a flame alive or ignite a flame. And in fact, that makes most people in an intimate relationship feel scared and unsafe. And not because there's something wrong with them, but because it's natural. It's natural in forming an intimate and committed relationship to not want somebody else in the picture. Now, for all the people who are totally happy and doing some sort of polyamory or something, that's fine. There are YouTube channels where people talk about how to deal with that. But this is not the channel. I teach people how to have intimate one-on-one relationships, and I'm going to just tell you, try not to create jealousy. Now, it's not reasonable for somebody to say that you can never do something you want to do. It's got to be voluntary. But here's what you could do. You could make a decision, if you don't want to cause jealousy, that you are going to really make some distance with the people who are your exes. They're not going to still be your friends. In fact, one of the most empowering ideas in my own healing process was something I learned from my husband, actually, when we were first dating. And he just said, I'm dating you because I want to get to know you and see if we're suited for marriage. And I want to give this my best shot, and I don't want to make you jealous. And he said, so I'm not going to hang out with women on my own. I'm not going to go have lunch with them or see exes or anything. You don't even have to worry about that. And he told me, you can do that if you want, but you don't have to. I'm not expecting it of you. It's just something I'm going to do because I just want to learn. I want to get to know you when you're not jealous. And my jaw just about fell because I had been told all my life that if I got jealous, it was because I was just being jealous, because I grew up in this kind of strange postmodern hippie culture where you're supposed to always be friends with your exes. You're like, oh, okay, the romance is over, but why can we just be friends? And you're always supposed to say yes, and then you try to do it. But be honest. One person usually is pining away for the other one, right? One person is actually in love with the other one and hoping that by continuing to hang out, something will happen or it will be rekindled. I know that some relationships aren't like that. I have them. Like, I have a friendship with my ex-husband. We have children together, so we were highly motivated to maintain a friendship. We would not have a friendship if we didn't have kids together. But now, these kids are college age, and we've had a lot of years to work this out. He has a wife. I have a husband. We're a family in many senses of the word. And And I'm very grateful to have his friendship. And I'm very, very clear, like neither one of us has any romantic energy for the other at all. And frankly, we barely did when we were married. It wasn't really there to begin with. So it is possible to have a friendship with an ex, and especially when there's a purpose like that to raise children together. And sometimes for less of a reason, just because there's a good friendship there and there genuinely is no romantic energy. But even when there's no romantic energy, it can make other partners jealous. And if you want a great relationship, I would give preference to the new partner, not the old one, and do what you can to make them feel as secure as you can, because when we're forming a new relationship with somebody, what we want is an open heart. All right, when one person cannot open their heart or is scared or jealous or angry or feeling threatened, it just isn't going to happen. You're not going to have that magic bond happen. And you might not be destined for that bond anyway. It may not come, but you want to give it a chance and not create jealousy. So one thing that I learned when I was looking into this is that, like in my grandmother's generation, when you dated somebody, it was to consider marriage, right? You have many other ways to date right now. You don't have to do that. But in her day, that's what it was. You dated to consider marriage. And if one person decided it ain't going to happen, you cut off all ties. You did not stay friends. It was like, that was it. And you became this total clean slate to consider whatever might come along in the future. And I used to think that that was barbaric. I now think it's really wise. After having a lot of really messy entanglements with exes and expecting new people in my life to put up with it and creating a lot of pain. And sometimes for very good reason did they feel pain, because there was energy there. And there was sort of like, yeah, well, if this doesn't work out, maybe I'll go back to that. Or what one of my friends called lab rats. I know they're still into me, and I'll just keep them around because that keeps my self-esteem up when I have nobody in my life and and then I have somebody to hang out with on Saturdays. So that's not cool either. It's not right to the other person. It's feeding off like a vampire their emotional energy for you just to fill up your life. And not only does it do that to them, but what it does to you is it turns off your cab light. Should you have the good fortune to meet somebody amazing and cool, the vibe they get from you is off. If they go out with you a little bit and they find out you have these friendships with your exes and stuff, healthy people are going to that's a red flag. It is a red flag. So the original question you asked, Tom, was about gifts and mementos. And I think there's a place for gifts and mementos from people in the past. There are some people where it was such a terrible experience that I took all photos and destroyed them or sent them back. It wasn't something I wanted to keep. But some people were really important to me, and our experiences were important to me, and they're tucked away and they're sealed up in files somewhere where they're not going to interfere with my life or become an obsession or anything like that. But for the most part, yeah, stuff like love letters and anything that eventually led to sorrow. I'm not saying you have to do this, but I made a decision, like anything that led to sorrow, I was just like, let's just get it out of here. I want to have a new experience. And I had done that a little bit along the way, but when my now husband and I were getting married, our decision to get married and that happening for us was so much the fruit of me being willing to put behind me a lot of the past ideas and behaviors and attachments and things that had made me so unhappy before then. I was really willing to do something new, and I just got clear that all those unhappy endings, gone, goodbye, and not think about them anymore. And I'm so glad I did. But I do respect that not all relationships are like that. And you would want something to remember them by, and you may want to have contact from time to time. So with respect to the person you're with, you see what's possible there without generating actual jealousy. The other thing to keep in mind, and this is like, let's say you haven't seen somebody in a number of years and you want to reach out and say hello and see if they want to have coffee. Well, that's not the end of the world, but is there a possibility that they're with somebody who would be hurt and jealous because of this, because they've heard about you? And if you really want to live on the Jedi plane of being a good person, you want to be very mindful about something like that. You don't want to cause jealousy or pain in somebody else's relationship or in the heart of some person who loves that person you used to love. You don't want to cause them pain. That's just bad. It's not a good thing to do to people. And it's just a good thing to do to support other people in having the best relationships they can. So isn't that different? Isn't that different than like, hey, don't be jealous. You're just being hung up. You're being too attached or whatever. That's how I was raised too. I want people who are in a relationship with me to have an open heart and to feel safe with me, and I'm not going to make them jealous. And furthermore, I don't want to cause pain in ex's partners and things, if I can. So, not an absolute. This is not like a do not go zone with barbed wire around it or anything. It's a gray area. It's nuanced. But take care of the people who are interested in loving you. It's very precious to have somebody who loves you and who's interested in growing a better relationship with you. Just put that first. And that's it for Ask the Fairy today. If you like this topic, I'm going to suggest that you have a look at this video right here. I go more deeply into it. And I will see you very soon.